kicked my knee. Kicked my knee. Need the table. That looks really weird without oh yeah. Oh, it looks really weird without the blanket over my chair. It's okay. We'll just we'll roll with it. Hello and welcome, or welcome back rather, to another episode. Another episode? Hello. Yeah, another oh my goodness. Another podcast episode. This is I think number 4. I think number 4. Number 4. So, this is in theory for the month of August. Nice. So if you are new here, my name is Holly-Beth. I am obviously the person behind this right. Words aren't coming easy to me today. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Okay. So firstly, it is weirdly enough, considering I don't usually like doing it on these types of days, I am recording this on a Saturday, so I hope that there is no background noise or anything like that. I imagine the fan is probably going to be a problem like last week. It is currently, I don't actually know what the temperature is. It's quite warm here. Yeah, so I imagine the fan is likely going to be a problem again today, due to the nature of how warm it is in this room. I am still here. Things are a little bit up in the air with what the plan actually was. Also, my camera keeps cutting out, so we might have to stop and start this this episode. I'm very all over the place, aren't I? Either way, I hope you are doing well, and I hope that you have grabbed yourself grab yourself a beverage of your choosing that makes you happy. I don't actually have one today with me. I will probably go and grab one after this podcast is done. So, we are gonna, as always, talk about my finished my finished objects, my whips, which there is only one, due to reasons that you will see probably maybe next week. And there's a few acquisitions. No yarn. I have very kindly got a one skein of yarn waiting for me. My wonderful friend, well, one of my bestest friends actually in the whole world. He has, well, he bought me a book which I think I might have touched on in the last episode. But he also ordered some ow oh, he also ordered some yarn which hadn't arrived at that point. It has, but I haven't received it, but I've got the book, so we've got that might be in the future, who knows. So no yarn. I think it's actually all books and patterns this month, so actually that's kind of exciting. I am still considering doing that book video that I mentioned in the last video. I did actually get quite a lot of positive response about that. Actually, before I go any further, I just wanted to quickly say a massive thank you to every single one of you that has taken the time and just the effort to interact or comment on, or watch the podcasts and the content and the shorts that I've uploaded. Truly, I don't quite think anyone will understand quite how much that means to me. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to every single person that has perhaps subscribed in the last month. We've gone up quite quickly. I feel very honored and very, very, very grateful for all of the love that you all have shown. Just thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that, due to my camera being a bit of a not really sure what it's doing, today. We're just going to quickly try and get through as quick as possible. I do have a lot of FOs, a lot of finished objects, but actually this is weird to do this, but let's start off with what I'm wearing, which sounds kind of crazy to say. Obviously it's the one thing, this is kind of irrelevant because I haven't made any of this, although I am going to be making a pair of these. I think I could possibly wing this pattern quite easily. So hopefully I can try and do that at some point. But it is this. This is one of the first bandanas, the first bandana I made. I featured it in the past. I've worn it as well also in the past. I really wanted to wear it today. I really wanted to wear my new one, but I thought this one went a little bit better colours wise. So this was a pattern from a lovely lady off of Etsy. I did put the link to that Etsy shop in my last video. I will again this time because naturally I have another one. Little bit of a spoiler I guess for you, but we could possibly start with that actually. So yeah, without further ado, I don't know which one it is. Let's get into my finished objects for the whole month of August. Right, so I'm going to keep stopping and starting just in case something goes wrong. So just a quick thing as well. Obviously in my last video I did mention I had a massive bandage on this arm. It's recovered fine. I have a few little issues here and there where sometimes I can only knit in small maybe I should have had a drink. In small intervals. That's not such a bad thing. Quite a healthy way to knit, I suppose. But it is fine. It's oh, you can't see. It's healed incredibly well. I feel very lucky that it hasn't caused any further issues. But it did mean that I still couldn't really get any knitting done for almost the whole of the start of August. So yeah, just for some reference, I think the whole of the first week, maybe a week and a half. I don't know if it was quite 2 weeks. I think I was knitting by that point. So the whole of the start of August, I wasn't able to knit, which was devastating. But throughout all of that, I haven't blocked it. It's not good, is it? But there's no ends, so it's okay. The first object we're going to go through is this one. So I think this was a whip in my last podcast. So it's finished. I love it. I think it might be my favorite pattern out of the 3 that I got off of there. It's just like an open pattern, and I'll be honest, I was so scared. This took me so long to cast on. This is going to sound very typical. It took me so long to cast on because I was just scared of the pattern. The pattern is so easy. So easy. There was no need to be scared. But just as someone that hasn't done this pattern that can look a bit intimidating to a brand new beginner, for example, and you know, I'm not necessarily a brand new beginner, but I haven't done fancy patterns, you know, so I was a bit scared to do it. I kept you know, I did this bit, not a problem, and then I got some like the part where it starts and I was like, oh okay, and I left it for a little bit, and then I came back to it and I was like, right, I'm just gonna get it started. And then once I got it started, I was off. I loved it. It was so simple to do, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then I got to here, finished it, and I was like, right, cool, I did it, nice. And then I got to this bit. I did the next few rows, and then I was like, I need to do the strap soon. And there's no real good, easy way of holding this up. I was like, I need to do the strap soon, and I just didn't want to do the straps as much because it's like 50, 60 stitches here on either side, and it's just a lot to get in the mindset of doing. But I loved doing it overall. Even with that, I loved doing it. I really recommend the pattern. It's so easy for beginners if you really can just put your mind to it, and it looks so pretty. It really has just turned into the perfect summer bandana like this one. I think this took knitting time maybe a couple, probably not even a week if I was to add it all together. Doesn't take very long if you actually just get it done. But I did it, you know, an hour here, a little bit here, a little bit there. So yeah, and it's knitted in Drops Paris in this yellow color, which is color 19. This is everything I have left of it, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do with the rest of it. I'll find something. Even if I do like a multicolored bandana with all of the scraps that I have of Paris. It's just it's really nice. I'm very happy with it. I think that, yeah, I'm just so chuffed. I finished it. It is the only bandana. I feel like we are coming out of that bandana phase. Not phase. I'm still loving wearing it. I may make another one if I, you know, have the yarn that's perfect for it. But yeah, so the first object is this bandana. Again, I'll link the pattern down below because I don't remember what it's called. I think it's just a cottage core bandana. And yeah, so I'll link that down the Etsy page to that pattern down below. I really do recommend giving this a go. I think it was very, very fun to do, and the outcome is really, really nice. So yeah, that's the first one. Okay, second one. We're gonna go on a bit of a journey here because I think there is about 5 of these. There is a lot of different. This one doesn't use one, which you'll be able to see from the fact that I kind of just winged it. There's a lot of hats. In August, I just got a hat bug. I just made so many beanies. So I mean, I'm head on Christmas, so it's okay. So first, this was also a whip last month. This is one of the woolly hats or beanie hats, one of the chunky ones that I did last month. It was holding an acrylic yarn that I have holding it before. And yeah, it's finished. It's very colourful, which I'm not against. Oh, we'll ignore that. I thought I had weaved them in. It is very, it looks very strange off, but actually once you have it on, it looks very nice, and it sits really well actually. I stopped saying it's actually the brain of my life. Now, if you watched last month's podcast, you will know that there's meant to be a pom-pom on this. I actually prefer it without. I tried it and I just didn't. I felt like it looked okay without one. I think it's maybe because of all the colours. I was kind of thinking, I'm not really too keen on adding another colour in there. Like all of those, you know, those blue colours. But yeah. So I have another one finished from that was a whip last month. And this is still the only thing that I have done with DPNs Once I finish this, I put those DPNs away and they haven't resurfaced. So nothing against DPNs, I just don't think it's for me, and I think that's a fair thing to say, and it's a good thing for me to know that about myself. You know, you only find these things out by learning and trying, and I think that is just the way that I work. I just don't really enjoy DPNs. I find them quite fiddly. I also, as I have I have a few medical conditions, and one of them is like occasionally I have quite bad hand tremors, and I just found that I just found DPNs quite annoying to work with. So no pattern. This was winged. This was winged. This was completely just my head putting something. I was gonna say on paper, but it's not on paper. It's just kind of been made. This took a little while, just because of the DPNs, but it's done. I obviously haven't worn any of these things out because for some reason again I'm making beanies in August. Watch this. I watch this space. I'm definitely going to be making vest tops at Christmas, aren't I? It's going to happen. Yeah, it's finished and I do really like it. You know, I was saying in the last podcast that I wasn't really sure about how it was knitting up. I thought I was going to like it a lot more. And don't get me wrong, it does look very busy, but I'm happy with it. I think it's okay. I think a lot of the colours matched well. Um, so yeah, that's number two. I feel like we should go in order of things that used to be whips last month. Just gonna give you a minute just to realise what this is. Right, don't get me wrong, it's a bit bodged. It's a bit it's not my best work, but it's my first. It's my first work. So this is the Knit Kit Company's Norway hat. You can get it on Amazon. I have talked about this kit every single month so far because I got the kit as a gift through my throne from a wonderful friend who we just call Roger, and thank you so much again. And I finally finished it. It is one that you knit flat and then you seam it together. I had a bit of one of the sides you can see on this side I had really good tension, but this side just was a mess. But if I pull that down, I'm very, very chuffed with the fact that it's done, but also how it turned out. I definitely am not the biggest fan of how the decreases look, but I think actually as a beginner pattern, yeah, I think that, you know, when you get to the decreases part, it's just a case of maybe going online and just seeing what those abbreviations mean, and you'll be away and you'll be able to do this quite nicely. I'm really happy with the yarn. All I can tell you is that it was the yarn that came with it. It was just a thin 100% merino wool from that company. I'm assuming it's made by them. It doesn't really say anything else other than their Knit Kit Company name on it. But I finished it, so you will no longer, unless I wear this, you will no longer see this being made. Which also kind of makes me a little bit sad because it's kind of been a bit of a staple in the podcast so far. Because it's been okay, well, I got a few more rows done on this. And getting this finished is what kicked off my hat bug, I think. It kicked off me wanting to do more beanies like this in this size yarn, and it look like this. After we finished it, it is done, and it's definitely nowhere near perfect. But if you ignore the back, you'd never guess, you know. Um, but I'm very chuffed with how it all has come together, and it's done finally. So yes, this one is done. We can tick it off the list. It's no longer a whip, and it's genuinely quite comfortable as well. I thought it was going to be way too small, but it's huge. And I did the biggest, I think I did the biggest size as well. It gives you the options for like all the way from baby up to like a big headed adult or like, you know, an adult size, but you have a kind of teenage size and an adult size. I think I did that adult size. It was so long ago now that I don't even know if my facts are correct there, but I'm pretty sure it was the biggest option. But yeah, I'm I'm very happy with it. I don't know if is it worth me sort of doing a review video, like a separate one of like maybe a short of how I actually what I thought of this actual knit kit, because it was a whole kit. You get the yarn, sticks. We don't talk about the sticks. We don't talk about them. The yarn, the sticks, the patterns, the booklet that tells you everything you need to know. It came with this bag, which has something else in it now. So it came with a bunch of stuff. So is maybe, you know, my actual thoughts on the kit something you would like to see in like a short format. If I can get it done in a short format, maybe it might have to be like a 2-3 minute video and it just goes into a separate playlist rather than a podcast, and it'll just be like a short review almost situation, because I do plan on doing a few of those. So maybe I might do a separate video on this kit, and yeah, I'm chuffed. I'm so chuffed. I'm very, very happy with this. So just to split everything up a little bit, because there is a lot of hats. I've been trying to use it. You can see that I've kind of moved everything around a little bit. It meant that I could see a lot of my stash as well, and with what the plans were and slash still are, I really needed to kind of go through as much as I could and organize it and work out what I've got. I have actually now officially, to this day, or to this moment, have put all my stash on Ravelry. Didn't record it because it would have just been far too stressful. What I haven't done yet is put all of my projects and whips and etc. on Ravelry. I need to do that. But to give myself a little bit of a break, and also because I had one skein of each of these colours, I have made a washcloth of each of these colours. It's got floof on it. So there's one that's kind of a mint colour. I would probably just call this a mint. It's not like a green mint though, it's more like a bluey mint. And then this one is I'll tell you what, this is a gorgeous colour. I hope you can still get it. I got it. I think I picked this up at the start of the year when I was in Norway. And it's Viking gun. It's the Vord, which is the cotton. It is this gorgeous colour. Oh, it's stunning. So I decided that I would make one of these and one of these. Just washcloths. I do very much prefer this pattern. It's just so much quicker and easier to do. You don't have to count anything other than the stitches you have. It's just, and you can make sure that everything's the same size, which, yeah, for me is a big thing. Yeah, just simple washcloths that can be used on your face in the shower. If you want to use it in the kitchen, you can. This cotton is so nice for, I use them for my face, and I also I find that I don't really have any problems with my psoriasis as well, because I do suffer from that. So my skin can be quite angry and not very happy. And these are fine on them, and I've been using them for ages. So yeah, I have one of these each. They probably took me a couple of hours. They don't really take me too long, maybe 3 for a whole one, non-stop, you know. So there's those two, and yeah, I think I am gonna get more of this color. I'm obsessed with this color. I don't remember what color code it is, but I'll put it on the screen. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing, is just put everything on the screen as I'm talking about it, because chances are that the way that my brain works, it just doesn't remember all of the information that I need to talk about at that moment in time. So I finished 2 more washcloths this month. Not any more of that rust color, which I maybe should have, but I can do that at any point. That's absolutely fine. I very much recommend this yarn for face cloths and things like that. It's just so soft, and my other ones have held up so well. I'm very happy with them. We move on to I think the last from last month. This is on Ravelry. I completely finished, and you'll have to ignore the bits of grass and things like that in it, because I did try it on Milo. I'll try and insert a picture around here maybe of him in it. Let me tell you, this dog looked so proud of himself. So proud of himself. So my family has 3 dogs, one of which that is mainly mine. But he's a red cocker spaniel, and he's a bit of a nightmare, and he's a very big stress pot. He has he unfortunately does suffer from fear aggression. And we started putting jumpers, like kind of like anxiety t-shirt, but not like anxiety shirts. If you don't know how they work, I could possibly do a video on that, because that is actually something that's quite important to me, because I used to be a dog groomer, and yeah, it might give a bit more insight as to why we put jumpers on Milo. Whether you like doing it because you think they're cute, or whether you do it because there's a reason for it in regards to their anxiety levels, or, you know, more than just how they look. It's totally fine either way if you choose to put a jumper on a dog. I must stress as well, this was on him for 2 minutes, no longer, because it's just far too hot at the moment. But I finished it. The seaming and everything, I'm really quite happy with. There is all of the ends are entirely weaved in. I did make some notes on my Ravelry where I put this. There is a few things that I would change in the next one that I will do. I will probably make him quite a few of these, if I'm honest. You'll never guess what. My PC crashed again. I'm so glad that I've been taking shorter videos. It just doesn't like what I'm using, I think. It's not good. So the angle might be a little bit different, but we're still here. We're still going to persist and continue. So I think I got to the point where I was talking about what I used. So I used Drop Snow. They were two colours that I had in my stash. I thought they looked quite nice together, and I think that I'm very happy with this. I think it's a good substitute for the yarn they recommend. Don't remember what yarn it was. But this is I think it's just Benson jumper, but it's the Benson jumper, and it's made by a YouTuber, a lovely YouTuber in the crafts community, called Jenna Phipps, and I'm a big fan of her. She's lovely, and she made this as a beginner dog jumper pattern. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. There's definitely some modifications I would make next time. I modified it even this time. I think I made the neck slightly shorter, and I made the back slightly longer. I think when it came to this bit up here, I think I made this a little bit longer, only by maximum of 5 rows maybe. I made it slightly longer again, for about 5 rows worth. Belly ended up perfect for my dog. I would definitely, seaming wise, I'm happy with how it looks. It's functional, it works. I would possibly start the leg, like leave more of a hole on both sides, so a bigger gap for his legs. So I would start the seaming, or end the seaming rather, a little bit further up next time. And this length of this worked out really well. I think I actually did the size up in the neck compared to the size, because I'm pretty sure I made the medium, or did I make the large? I will put it on the screen. But I think I went up to the neck size for the neck, because I didn't want it to be, because he's a Cocker Spaniel, he's got quite a broad chest, so I didn't want to, you know, restrict him in any way, which was a good thing as well, because of the type of, you know, seaming, it doesn't become as stretchy. At least on mine it didn't. And then I would also make the back significantly longer, maybe even by about that much. So I know what I would change. I have a very good template. I'm very happy with how this came out though. I really do recommend this pattern. It's about, I think it's about £6 off of the hobby website. But actually, I really do think that it was worth it, because I'm going to be making quite a few of these. If I can, as my skills develop and progress, and I get better at doing these certain parts, I think that I would quite like to do the neck in the round, and then continue in the round until I get to this point, and then separate for the legs. I think that is maybe what I would do as well, so I can change it to an in the round pattern, because I just do prefer working in the round, and then I won't have any like thick seams underneath. Yeah, I'm genuinely so happy with it though. Look, it looks like a proper little jumper. I didn't mean to drop it. It just, I made that. I did that. That still baffles me. So yes, I have a lovely little jumper for my little Cocker Spaniel, and yeah, I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with it. I'll of course put the I probably would have already at this point, but I will put the color codes or color names, numbers in on the screen as well, probably over here, I guess. Um, as to what colors I used, because without checking, I don't actually remember. But I just know that I'm very happy with it. I really would. I'm going to do another one at some point. Likely not until it gets a bit colder and I'm back from where I'm going to be. But yeah, so I finished that. Okay, so that was all, not all of my finished objects, but at least all of the finished objects that were whips last month. So now we move on to completely new things that I hadn't even envisioned this time last month. But when I finished Milo's jumper, um, I I had leftover drop snow and both colors. So I thought, well, okay, maybe I could make a matching hat. And so I did. I don't really know. My, I suggested about making a matching hat, and my family were like, I don't know about that one. So I did it. It is. I went on to Ravelry because I have a few hat patterns, but I don't have one for this size yarn. So I wanted to find one that, like a pattern that I could follow, so that I could make a hat out of snow, and it actually out of drop snow, and it actually makes sense and work, and it doesn't have the weird star shape at the top. So I went on to Ravelry. I looked at the actual yarn, um, and then I went on to people's projects and found a few hats here and there. One of them I really liked, and it led me to a pattern. I don't know how to say this, so I'll put it on the screen. But it led me to a pattern called Who? I just want to call it Hoover, but my community will just understand the meme reference, and I don't know if I want that meme reference to be linked to this beautiful hat, or the hat pattern. It led me to this beanie pattern, which is free. It is free, and I really enjoyed it. It's a very simple pattern, but it works, and it's a pattern that's really nice as well because it means that all of the decreases stay where they should. It is a 2x2 ribbed hat, and I just did all the colours, and I now have the tiniest, like I'm on about like the tiniest little amount of drop snow left. Let me grab it. Like the tiniest amount. This is obviously wound into a very small ball, but so I think I will eventually, when I get some more drop snow at some point, I will just include this as like a stripe in between, like yarn change, and then I would have used this up. But that used up, I had 3 of the burgundy colour and 3, maybe 3.5, 3 and 25, so 3 1/4 skeins of drop snow, and in like the turquoise sea colour, like I think it's actually sea green maybe, and I used up the whole lot apart from this on these 2 patterns. And I don't know, I just think it's very cute that me and Milo can match when we go out for a walk, and no one will notice. But I know that we match, and it will be very cute. Honestly, this probably took, I think I got it done in a day, maybe two. Uh, it's a quick knit. It's a very, very fast knit. And I was switching colours as well, so I think if you were to just do it without thinking, it's very simple. Actually, possibly this one of the most simplest hat patterns, because I'm pretty sure you just do knit togethers. There's nothing too fancy about it, but it looks very, very cute. I love the pattern. I will probably do another one if I end up having this weight yarn again. So now we match. I think it's so cute. So yes, there's another hat that I have completed this month. So many hats, honestly. Okay, now we come to the last two. And these are, I'll be honest, when I looked on Ravelry, it seems I had got these patterns before I had seen some posts on the patterns. I don't know if it's personal issues or, well, whatever. It seems like a couple of people have a problem with this designer. I had already got the patterns before I had seen. But I had got, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just going to keep it from a clean slate point of view. The patterns were good for me. I really enjoyed working from them. I'm happy to not advocate for the pattern if it is an issue, but of course I'm new to this. I don't know anyone from the knitting community, which is why I hope doing these podcasts might help with that. So I don't have this information that could be helpful in these situations on what designers to support and what designers to maybe not support as such, because they're not good people. And I'm fine with that being a thing as well, if needs be. But I have made two hats, two more beanies, which I'm incredibly proud of. One that I finished within 3 days, I think. One that I actually finished on stream the other day. I did a random stream. It was very nice. It was a very emotional stream. And yes, so it is a pattern by the Blue Mouse, and it is the veil hats, the veil beanies. And I got all three of the DK, the fingering weight, and the bulky. And I will show these together because I think it makes sense to. One is the DK and one is the bulky. Let's go through probably the DK first because it was the first one I did. This is knit in Santa's Gone in the dark blue colorway. I will put no, not dark blue, it's just like almost like the royal blue. I will put the color yarn number on the screen as well as I have done so far. This is for my dad. I can't explain how, oh, you can really see how holy it is, but I can't explain how chuffed I am with the top of this. My tension needs a lot of work, but it was knitting around. I did it with magic loop, which was so much easier. I did the same with the bulky beanie, and also with the matching hat, matching Milo hat, I'm calling it. My dad actually, once obviously this warm weather kind of leaves a little bit, he's very excited to have this. He put it on when I finished it and he loved it. So this was knit in the biggest size. My gauge was not quite perfect. It does say in the pattern you can either change a needle size or just do the size bigger. I ended up making the biggest size. I think it worked quite well, and I kid you not, I screamed when I got this finished. I was so, I still am so chuffed with how this looks. So yes, very, very happy. But it is the Sanders Gone, I think it's Superwash Merino wool. I've had it for a while, and it was what was left over from the scarf that I have done for my granddad, who I actually saw my nan and granddad again, and my stepson as well, over the last few weekends, and it was very nice to see them again because they haven't been very well, so we haven't been able to go over. So I'm so chuffed. I can't explain how happy I am with it, and the person that it's for is absolutely loves it. So hopefully they look after it. And then the other one, as I said, finished on the stream the other day. It needs a. This obviously needs cleaning up, but it needs its little pom pom. This is for my mama. This is for her, and she tried it on. She really enjoyed it. She loved it. I held two of the Trisil yarns, the white colorway and it's like a stone brown colorway, and I've mentioned them in the past, but I'll put the details of that yarn up on the screen. It's also a yarn that I got in Norway at the start of the year / over the Christmas. And don't get me wrong, the length of this is incredible. I honestly think this took me like 2 days. I just got on with it, and yeah, I held it one of each colour, and it just looks like a really nice marbled colour. So I think once I get a pom-pom on it, this will be entirely finished. But as for the actual hat, it is finished. Personal choice to put a pom-pom on it. And mum's choice. So it's another one done. I will be knitting so many more of these. I have plans to knit quite a few of these for kind of as gifts. So I'm very, very, very chuffed with this. And yeah, but this is the final one. I promise. I promise this month this is the final hat. I haven't cast on anymore. I will be doing so in probably a week's time, but I'm just very, very chuffed. I'm just going to pop those back in the bags that I keep them in to keep them safe, and then I will move on to my one and only whip, and then we'll get on with acquisitions. That's everything I've finished this month. It's quite a lot, actually. A lot of little things, but there's a lot. So I'm happy with it. So let me pack this up. So my one and only whip as of right now is the very multicolored shawl that I started. This is a self-coloring, self-striping yarn. It's the same yarn as this hat here, actually. It's just held single. This is what it's supposed to look like. It looks very cool, in my opinion. I have used one one ball of yarn slash cake up. And this, again, like I said last time, was more of an experiment to see how the colours go. I really like it. If I don't use it, I know a few people that wouldn't mind having it, and because it's acrylic, acrylic rather, I can't speak. It's not the worst thing if they don't know how to look after it or, you know, wash it and stuff. So yeah, this is the only thing. I don't really have much to say about it other than it's literally just kind of a basic. But it's definitely got a little bit of length there. I'm using, I think it's my 4mm. Couldn't tell you. The number has rubbed off. Oh, it actually has rubbed off. Well, that is incredibly sad. Yeah, I think they're my 4mm needles, and yeah, I just think the colours are really cool. So I'm not too fussed about getting this finished as soon as possible. It was a really nice one to work on, you know, when I had my injury, that it was just simple. It's just garter stitch over and over and over again. It's been a nice little, if I want to knit but don't have the brain power to work from a pattern, or when I have my injury, it was just quite a nice one to work on. So I'm just going to keep going on it until it's done, I guess. No rush to get it finished. This won't be coming with me, it will just stay here, and I'll continue on it probably around November. So I don't think I'm going to bring it with me anyway. So you likely won't see this in the next few podcasts. So I'll probably re-update you probably around November, December time about this one. It might make a reappearance, but I'm just going to keep knitting on it as I go. It's just it's just my very, very, very chill. I want to knit, but don't want to stress about patterns or anything, just knit. So that's what this boy is, and I'm slowly making my way through my yarn so I can use it up. Yeah, that's my only whip, and it's currently not going in the bag. It's currently living in this bag, which is of course my only proper project bag that I have, and it fits there quite nicely. So that's, yeah, that is literally my only whip. I literally have wanted to cast on another hat at least, and a vest top, but I just know that I may as well wait. Let's move on to acquisitions. Now, this is not necessarily an acquisition, but I wanted to mention it, so it's obviously in my video journey. I used to have this very typical kind of bracelet. I was probably maybe 8, 9, 10, maybe. I think my mum got it for me, and it was just one of those ones that you like kind of hook charms onto. I've never worn it because I'm just quite frankly too clumsy. But I was looking at some nice stitch markers, and I remembered I had this bracelet, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can kind of make my own. So this is one of the, it keeps trying to focus on me, one of the little charms. It's a little turtle, and I have been using this just attached to one of the little light bulb markers. I've been using it every single project so far. So and it just makes things a lot cuter. I've used it as like my start of the round marker. So it's not necessarily something I bought or anything, it's just that I wanted to mention it for myself. Maybe anyone else that has these little charms hanging around, but you know, they don't really have the funding to buy nice fancy stitch markers. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, all of these are basically books and patterns. So I think we will start off with this chunk. So I do have some thanking to do. All of these are either gifted, basically, no, they are all gifted to me, all by different people, basically. This one in particular was gifted to me by one of my bestest friends, who is just one of the most supportive people ever, in all honesty. And they have supported me for so long. I think it was kind of like a leaving gift kind of thing. But he bought me this, so Kellum, thank you so much. And look at the size of it, it's bloody huge. It's got some stunning patterns in it. I was looking, I don't think she would ever watch my channel, but I don't want to risk it. But someone in my family recently had a huge announcement, and she's obsessed with Disney, and I was looking online for Disney related patterns, and I saw this jumper. If anyone knows me, they will know that there's two films that I'm just entirely obsessed with, and my favourite film of all time ever is Disney's Robin Hood, but shortly after that is Beauty and the Beast. So I saw this jumper, and that's my goal. I'm saying it here and now. I don't know when the deadline or timeline is for this, but this is my goal. I'm gonna do this one day. I'm gonna do it. But it's just, there's so many patterns in this book, and from, you know, from teddies to, so plushies rather, to things you can wear, to accessories, to home decor, to costumes. There's I'm so grateful. I absolutely love it, and I am definitely going to start knitting from this in the next few months actually. I have a few plans in to do some of the patterns that are in here coming up, and I will of course keep you guys updated as to how I find them. But I love it, honestly. I'm so grateful. So yeah, thank you so much, Kellum, for this this wonderful little gift. It's not little at all. But there is a funny story attached to it, which I don't think we should mention, but it was a good deal, wasn't it, Callum? Yes, there is 25. There's 28 patterns in here, all inspired by Disney related films, characters, etc. It is very, very cute. So I have this, and I'm very grateful. Another, I think I should do these two together. They took a while to get here, but I have something called a throne list. If you don't know what it is, I have like a online wish list of things that people from the community can recommend or send to me, and or things that I think are helpful to me, and very, very, very kind people can purchase them and they will be delivered to my door basically, and my address stays hidden. I will come up with a better way of wording what throne is, but the wonderful, the, another one of my all-time favorite people, very, very kindly, I have wanted these books for so long because I think I wanted to do a video talking about my family's history in knitting, because it's quite extensive. It's very cool. So one of my nans, I think it's my great nan, but we never called her great nan. She made teddies and plushies and, you know, all of this type of stuff. So when I saw these and how easy they were and how cute they were, I've wanted these books for so long. And Alex, the wonderful Alex, got me not one, but both of them. So the Knitted Animal Friends by Louise Crowther, I think you say that, and the Knitted Wild Animal Friends by the exact same person as well. There is a dolls one that I would love to get at some point, but baby steps. I want to make some stuff first. I don't know how much I need to say about these, because there are so many people that rave about these, so many people that are currently working from these and advocating them. So the fact that someone so lovely has gifted me both versions is just, it's baffling. So Alex, thank you so much, and I'm genuinely so grateful. Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to start making things out of these. Aren't they wonderful? I'm so unbelievably grateful. I am going to do a book video though, so I will go into these in a little bit more detail in there. So this is just quickly to run through what is new, what I have. Yes. So the next thing as well, I mentioned these in my last podcast. I have a bit of a history in the family with seaming and knitting and just anything that comes with, you know, fiber art. And well, I obviously mentioned that I was gonna ask my nan if I was able to potentially keep hold of the little. However, that book is still there because I wanted my own one so bad, and we figured out how old these are. If they're not from the 1800s, they are from 1900. Like the one behind me. And after I found that out and how significant they are to the family, I didn't feel comfortable asking. And also that just made me so nervous. Not to say that this one isn't any less, it's just that it means that I have my own version. So my mum, she went online, we found another one. It is slightly different. It's not from Cardiff. This one looks like it's published in London, so it's just slightly newer, around the same year that it was published, but slightly different, if you will. And I feel so much more confident having my own one. But my mum got me, I think it was just secondhand online. my own version of this book that I so desperately wanted, because I really can't explain how magnificent this book is. It has just information about everything needle related, from sewing to embroidery, from tapestry to macrame to crochet, knitting, everything. Cross stitch, for example, as well. Linen work. It quite literally is an I really struggle with this word. An encyclopedia of everything needlework. And I'm I love it. I love it so much. That's why this is going to come everywhere with me, and it's so small. I mean, not that way, obviously, but it's so. I just. I'm so grateful, Mum. I don't know if my mum watches these videos yet. If you are, thank you so much. I love you lots. Thank you. Okay, the last thing, and it is the last thing actually. I went and visit. So the nan that taught me how to knit when I was younger. Somehow I managed to miss this off when I did my channel introduction. So when I was maybe, would have been between when I was 7 or 8 to 10, I think. My nan, well, my step nan, but my nan was the person that taught me how to knit. Now, life has got in the way, obviously COVID on top of that. I haven't been able to see her for quite a while, even though she doesn't live too far. Anyway, I went and saw her for the first time the other week in years, and it was so nice. And we brought up obviously the knitting journey and stuff and my plans, and she was like, 2 seconds. She came back out into the living room with this whole, like, I kid you not, she came out with this massive suitcase, like briefcase suitcase with patterns, and she was like, have a look through them. I was like, oh, okay. And there was so many patterns, a lot of baby and kid, like toddler child patterns. I do, because she actually knitted me, she knitted baby clothes for me, obviously when I was born. And if I can find them, I know we still have them, if I can find them, I will show them one day. I know we have them. I think they're in storage. So they're like cardigans. I think there's like 3 cardigans and a blanket that she knit. I don't know where that blanket is actually. I think it's also with the baby stuff. Anyway, she said to me, she was like, okay, I said about how I was extremely interested in toy knitting and like plushies, teddies. She was like, right, okay, I have some toy ones in there, and I just don't have the patience for it. So you can have those ones entirely. So I ended up taking home not 1, not 2, but 3 like little magazine booklet patterns, or pattern booklets. They are all Jean Greenhouse, and yeah, I feel very lucky. This one in particular means a lot to me because my other nan that I just briefly mentioned had one of these, which she'd knit. So it means as well that this pattern in particular is a little bit more special, because not only is this from my nan that is still here, but also this is one of the patterns that my other nan would have had when she was here. whether I'll actually be able to do this, like make this pattern again, who knows, but I would love to try. I'd love to try one day as like an ode to both my nans, really. And then there is this one, and there is this one. Oops. Which I've had a look through both of these, and I think they're kind of beginner friendly as well. So, particularly this one. So you may see some of this style toys coming out soon. And yeah, I just feel incredibly grateful. I know she probably won't watch my videos, so but even so, Nan, thank you so much. She also went in and she was like, I went into the briefcase and she was like, there's some really easy jumper patterns in here as well that you can have. I was like, oh my goodness. So she picked out this one. I can't find this pattern on Ravelry. I wanted to know what yarn people were using, but it's not on there. So we're winging it. So I likely will be making this at some point too. And if I don't keep it, then I think I'm going to give it to my nan. So yeah, and it looks so nice. Obviously you'll have to excuse the look at that. Oh. There you go. Oh, it's just stunning. So I walked away with 3 pattern books and a jumper pattern from my nan, and that taught me how to knit, and it feels very surreal. Sat here as a 24-year-old, you know, over well over a decade later, and I feel so lucky, and I feel very honoured, and yeah, very grateful for everything. And talk about being grateful again. Thank you so much for all the support on all of my podcasts, in particular, and all of the shorts, and all of the just the amount of love on this channel so far has been just incredible. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Just thank you so much. I think that the podcast might be changing soon, potentially to more often. I think that would be better for me, with my personal journey and looking back to see how long things took me. I feel like it's nice for me to do these every month, but I feel like I kind of have a lot to show. So I'm thinking about switching these podcasts every 2 weeks, so that they could be shorter, and also so I can go into depth a little bit more about each individual item, and it just shows a more realistic, I don't know, a more realistic time scale, because I can show you all of these things and I can say how long they took me, but if I do it every 2 weeks, you see physical items, and me also when I look back at these videos. So let me know what you think of that. So far, everyone I've told that to has been incredibly positive about it. And very warming to the idea of that, and I'm very honoured, like very grateful that that is the response. I think on the off weeks I'll post a short, and we'll go from there. But I do have some videos to come out very soon of things other than podcasts, i.e. the book videos and all of that as well. And again, if you would like me to do a kind of a video on how dog jumpers can be quite beneficial for like anxious dogs, then I would be quite interested to do that as well. I don't know if it's kind of slipping a little bit into not quite relevant to the channel, but I think it is. It's about knitted jumpers and, you know, things that can be made. So I would say that it's quite relevant, and I have a bit of a bit of knowledge in the animal field. So yes, let me know what you thought of today's podcast. Any suggestions going forwards would be massively appreciated. Just, yeah, let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending your time watching and sharing this journey with me. I do feel incredibly honoured to do this, and I'm very excited for the future of my journey within this field, but also with the channel as well. So yeah, massive thank you to everyone, honestly, to you, whether you're new or returning, thank you so much. And yeah, I will see you guys very soon. Please do like the video, let me know what you're working on, any suggestions, how was the video for you, and also what your thoughts are on changing the schedule a little bit, changing it to every 2 weeks from a month. I feel like I want to do more. Not that I need to, but I want to, and I think that that's a huge thing for me. So yeah, let me know what you thought, and thank you just so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you're staying we almost did it, didn't we almost got there. I hope you're staying safe, and I hope you're doing well, and yes, make sure you look after each other and just be kind to each other. I'll see you guys in the next one.